Hello everyone, my name is Lauren. I hope this video finds you well, and I am moving in less than a week. I can barely believe that the time has actually come for me to move out of this apartment, and it's happening so soon. Everything is happening so fast, but at this point in the moving process, all that is left for me to do is pack. So that is what this video is going to be. Come pack with me to move into my brand new apartment. I am sitting on my building's rooftop right now because I know this is going to be one of the last days I'm going to be able to do this. No one's here right now, so I figured why not record up here. And sorry if you hear any background noise, there may be sirens or cars going on in the distance, so hopefully it's not too disruptive. I moved into this apartment in February of 2022. Originally, when I first moved to Montreal, I lived in a different unit in this same building, and I moved in here in August 2021. So I lived in that first apartment for about 6 months. I had a roommate, and due to some toxic living arrangement that I was in, I decided to, at the last minute, not renew my 6-month lease, and I moved out. And that is how I found the unit that I'm in now, is the apartment that you've seen in the background of all of my videos, and at least up until now. And when I did an apartment tour, it was this apartment in that tour, so if you want to go check out that video, feel free. This is the longest I've ever lived in any apartment. When I was in university, I moved around a lot. I pretty much switched apartments every single year. I never renewed my lease. So, I was never in anywhere super stable. My last apartment that I lived in the city before I moved here, I lived there for about 2 years, but it never felt stable, right? Like, it never felt like it was a permanent solution. And this apartment has felt like the most permanent solution in terms of housing that I've ever had. So I am super grateful for that. And what comes with that is this is the first apartment where I feel like I've truly been able to decorate it in the way that I want to. Because when I was a college student, I didn't really have money to buy nice furniture. Most of my furniture was either hand-me-down or bought or taken for super cheap or for free from Facebook Marketplace. And now all the furniture I have bought pretty much myself. A lot of it is secondhand. I try to buy secondhand when I can, but you can't always succeed. So a few things like my couch and my bed frame are bought from websites, so they're new. So this is the first apartment that's truly ever felt my own, If you watched my recent video where I looked at some mansions in Montreal, you'll know that I'm moving not on my own volition. It's because I'm being forced to move. And I'll go into that a little bit just to provide some context. In the middle of the night in early February, I received a text from my landlord saying that she needed to conduct a repossession of unit, which basically means that the landlord is gonna take your unit away from you so that they can use it for either themselves or for a family member. So she claimed at the time, and continues to claim, that someone in her family is sick, so her and her immediate family need to move into my unit because I live not super far from a hospital. So for her family member to be able to get treatment, she needs to be near the hospital. She gave me less than 3 months notice that I needed to move out. So in that text in early February that I received, she told me I needed to move out on May 1st, which is very illegal. You definitely cannot legally do that. You need to give 6 months notice minimum where I live in order to conduct a legal repossession of units. So I refused to move out in May, not only because of the legality of the situation, and I just wasn't willing to, by principle, let her do that to me, but also because I was going to be in Europe from late April until mid-May. So even if she insisted on me moving out in May, I was physically unable to. So after some lengthy back and forth conversations, after some serious drama on her end, and causing me a lot of stress, I ended up agreeing to the 6-month period. So she gave me 6 months notice eventually to move out. So I agreed that I would move out at the end of my lease. which is on September 1st, and that is in now just a few days. So that's where we're at. If I could have renewed my lease for another year, I would have, simply because I did start to get settled here. I finally got furniture that I liked. I set up decor that, took time and effort to do. And so having to take it all down sucks. I'm trying to see the silver lining in this situation, and that for the past few months to a year, I've wanted to move out of the neighborhood that I'm in. So I'm trying to use this opportunity as a way to move to a new neighborhood. It's definitely bittersweet. I have signed a lease to a new apartment, the one that I'll be moving into in just a few days, and it is a little bit of an increase in rent, like more than I wanted to pay, but I'm hoping that for the location and for some things that I'll mention later on in this video, that it will be worth it. Even if I only end up living there for a year and I do not renew my lease, that's totally fine. I'm hoping that for the next year, things can be a little bit more peaceful and I can feel just as settled there as I did when I lived in this apartment. There are a lot of good things in this apartment that I'm leaving behind, that I'm disappointed that I have to leave, and that my new apartment won't have. The main thing that I love about this apartment is the location. It is located in a really great spot near a metro hub in the city of Montreal. It is very close to a lot of tourist spots, a lot of popular attractions, and where festivals are held, and just all that kind of stuff. A lot of entertainment is near where I live. I live within walking distance of several concert venues, so I'm definitely gonna miss that when I move to my new apartment. Another thing I'm gonna miss about this apartment is this freaking insane rooftop pool. As you can see right now, it's completely empty. At the time I'm recording, it's about 12:40 p.m. on a Wednesday. So I think most people in this building are like me and work regular 9-to-5 jobs. But even that, I've only ever seen this pool really busy during a heat wave, on either the weekends or on a holiday, or in the, like I said, early afternoon after people are done work. That's when this area is a little bit busier. But I have never seen more than 15 people here at a time. But there have been many days, weekends, and evenings where I have swim in this pool either completely alone, or my friends have joined me and we have been completely alone swimming. And it's really been a huge blessing. And every time I come up here, I actively think, wow, I am grateful to live here. Especially this having been the first building I moved into in the city, after living in shitty apartment after shitty apartment after shitty apartment in my old city. It really was insane touring this building for the first time, seeing the rooftop pool and thinking, wow, I'm actually gonna live here and I'm actually gonna be able to use this pool whenever I want, because it is open 24 hours a day. There's no guards, there's no security. I am lucky enough that my new apartment building will also have a pool. It is not on the rooftop and it is guarded, and it is not open 24/7, but it is way bigger than the pool that I have now and way deeper. So that will be nice, where it'll feel less like a teeny little pond of a pool and more of like an Olympic-sized pool, which will be nice. And it's still outdoors, so it'll be closed in the winter, but in the summer it'll be beautiful. Another big thing that I'm gonna miss about this apartment is the in-unit laundry that I have. Right now, my landlord pays for the water, so I get to do laundry for free because I have a washer dryer in my unit, so I don't have to share it with anybody and I don't have to pay for it. So I pretty much have free laundry whenever I want right now. And in my new apartment, unfortunately, I was not able to secure that. In almost every single apartment that I toured when I was looking at a new place, I think only like 2 of the 15 units I toured had in-unit laundry. It seems to be really hard to find in this city, and now I appreciate having in-unit laundry more than ever. And I am going to be losing it in just a few days. In my new apartment, there is laundry on every floor, so at least I don't have to share it with the entire building. It's just the people on my floor. And if my units are being used, I can always go to a different floor and do laundry there. But it does cost money. It is coin operated, which fucking sucks. I told myself I would never go back to coin operated laundry in my life. Unfortunately, it's the circumstances that we're in, and I'm just gonna have to deal with it and do my best to try to ration as much as I can in terms of laundry, and I'm gonna try to stick laundry to once a week. Wish me luck on that front, but I'm definitely gonna miss my in-unit laundry when I move. Now for some things I'm not gonna miss. Let's get to the positives of this move and try to get me to look at the silver lining more. The first thing I'm not gonna miss is the noise. That is definitely the biggest con of living in this apartment. I live on the second floor of an 8-floor building, and I live on a very, very busy street with about 4 lanes of traffic that are going constantly. And it is a straight road, so at night there are cars who will race, and their engines are so freaking loud, and it's woken me or my friends who stayed over up in the middle of the night with just how loud it is. Even that, you can also hear if it's a Friday night or Saturday night, people are going out clubbing in the area. So there have literally been times where I've been able to hear full conversations out my window in the middle of the night at like 3 or 4 a.m. And they've woken me up from literally a deep slumber with their loud conversations. At my new apartment, I will be living on a much higher floor, so that will be so nice. I won't have to hear conversations anymore. The cars will be a lot quieter because I'll be way higher up. That I am very excited about. Not only will it help in terms of sleep, but it'll help in terms of video recording, because currently I film in my bedroom most of the time. I record all my videos on my phone. So I put my phone up against the windowsill of my bedroom, which my bedroom faces that really busy street. So it'll be so much easier when I move to be able to record, because currently when I film, every time the light cycle changes and the cars start moving or revving their engines, or if a big truck is stopped outside my unit, I currently will literally sit there twiddling my thumbs, waiting for the cars to pass so that I can continue talking in my videos. So I'm hoping that when I move, that will be no more. That will no longer be a problem, and I will be able to record with ease and sleep better, and also be able to provide a more comfortable place for friends to stay the night. I mentioned earlier that for the past few months to a year, I have been thinking about moving anyway, just to get out of the neighborhood that I'm in. And that is because currently my neighborhood, at least like the few block radius around my apartment, has a lot of homeless people in it. And I personally don't have a vendetta against homeless people. I understand that they have to go somewhere, so it's totally fair. It just makes me and sometimes the people in my life uncomfortable when they're using drugs in the staircase entering to my building, where basically my building has a main front entrance where you enter through some glass double doors, and there's an elevator and all that, like where the main lobby is. But also we have 2 side entrances where there's just some staircases and you can get up to the second floor through that. And because I live on a lower floor in my building, that's pretty much how I get in 90% of the time. And unfortunately, there have been many occasions where I have gone to use one of those side staircases to get into my unit, and somebody is either using drugs actively in that stairwell, or somebody homeless is sleeping in the stairwell. So it makes it hard to get in and out of your unit, especially when I have friends, or even worse, when I have family over and I'm trying to just take them up to my apartment, and then we have to deal with a homeless person or a situation that is a lot more dangerous. That's not fun. Like, for me personally, I don't mind that much because I have like a high tolerance to this type of stuff. In all of my old apartments, there have been similar issues. So for me, it's a lot more normal. But I don't like putting my friends in those types of uncomfortable situations, or my family in those types of situations. My new neighborhood is a lot safer, has a lot fewer of those issues. So I'm hoping when I move that that will happen a lot less. And like I said, I'm living on a higher floor, so I will be entering through side entrances a lot less often, and just entering through the main lobby and using the elevator to get up to my apartment. Next thing I'm looking forward to is the increase in apartment size. Currently, my apartment is pretty big for the area that I live in. It's about 620 square feet. And my new apartment is 775 square feet. The living room is at least 5 feet bigger in length. The bedroom is 3 feet longer and 2 feet wider, I believe, with a floor-to-ceiling closet. And also, I'm going to have something I've pretty much never had before, a balcony. The balcony also faces out onto the backyard and pool of the building, so it is not facing a busy street. So again, another point for no noise, which is really nice. But I've only ever had a balcony in one other apartment I've lived in, and it was the last apartment I lived in when I lived in Ottawa. And that balcony was unsafe for use. It was pretty much falling apart, and I was worried that every time I stepped on it, it would literally collapse and drop me down to the porch below. So I never sat on it, I never used it, and also it was barely big enough to be used anyway. So now I have a safe, secure, a concrete and a glass patio that looks out on a quiet area in the building, and it's actually quite big, so that would be nice. I'll have to grab some patio furniture to make it a lot more homely. Along the same vein of the noise that I'm excited to get away from here, besides the traffic that I deal with, I also deal with a really loud wall air conditioning unit in my current apartment that I am so fucking excited to get the hell away from. It's been loud as long as I've lived here. It's just for the first year and a half, I feel like it kind of became white noise to where I forgot that it was even making sound at all. But then in the past few months to a year, as I've realized that I actually do have to move out, I've realized how much the AC actually really pisses me off. And I think it's kind of one of those things where when you realize that you have no choice but to leave, you start to point at the things that you dislike about the place you're leaving behind more, because now you can actually admit to yourself the things that make you unhappy of where you currently live. So the AC has been bothering me non-stop for the past few months. It's actually one of the reasons why I'm recording up here right now, because I genuinely cannot stand trying to time around the AC going off again. My apartment has a lot of windows, so it gets a lot of sun. And because of that, it gets hot really fast. And I keep my apartment hot anyway. I keep it at like 70 something degrees, which I know is a lot hotter than a lot of people do. But even that, the AC is on, I swear to God, all the freaking time. And it's right next to where I sit and watch TV on the couch. So every single time the AC turns on, it just overpowers the TV completely. And every single time I have a guest over, they always complain about the AC. They're like, what's that noise? I'm like, it's literally the air conditioning. I will not turn it off because then this apartment will easily get up to 85 degrees Fahrenheit. It's just a necessary evil, but I'm so excited to get away from it because now I have more of a central air conditioning system in my new apartment, which will be so much easier. And also when I went to tour the apartment, I turned it on to high and it was way quieter than my current system. So that will be great. That will help in terms of not only video filming, but also, again, my own comfort level, my quality of life, the comfort level and quality of life of the people who stay over or spend time in my apartment. So that is also something that I'm very looking forward to. Overall, there's a lot of pros to leaving, a lot of cons to leaving, and moving in general is just very stressful. So I'm trying to navigate all that's happening right now. But I'm trying to be grateful for the changes that are happening. And like I said, try to see the silver lining in this move and to see that, you know, there can be a lot of positives to moving, even though there's an increase in rent, even though I'm losing laundry, that kind of stuff. There are a lot of good things that are coming with the move, like I mentioned. And also another great thing that I'm excited for is to no longer have to deal with my landlord. Like I said a little bit earlier on, my landlord kind of decided to be super dramatic in terms of the fact that I wouldn't let her kick me out illegally. I'm very excited to no longer have to deal with her drama anymore. The way that every time I ask her to repair something, her immediate first response is to blame me and tell me that I'm like some terrible, destructive tenant because, oh, when she lived there, this never broke. It's like, well, did you live here for 2.5 years? I don't think so. Overall, all that's left to pack is necessities. The last few bits of clothing, my kitchen, my bathroom stuff, and all of that will pretty much be done at the last minute, right before I actually drive the truck to my new apartment. But besides that, everything else is pretty much packed. As you saw, all my decor was taken down. I fixed any holes in the walls that were there, and I packed almost everything that's not a necessity into boxes already. It's crazy that after 2.5 years, this is actually happening, that I'm actually moving to somewhere new, onto bigger and better things, onto a new adventure, a new journey, a new chapter of my time living in Montreal. And as soon as I get settled in my new apartment, I will give you an apartment tour to show you my new place. I'm very excited to make it my own and to be able to settle down somewhere new. So keep a lookout for that video coming in the next few months or so. But besides that, that's all I have to say in terms of the move. Like I said, this is crazy that this is actually happening, but I really wanted to talk through my thoughts on everything, the pros and the cons of leaving. And I hope that you enjoyed listening to me rant about it all. I hope you have a good rest of your day, afternoon, or evening, whatever time it is for you. And I will see you in my new apartment and also in the next video. Thank you so much, and I cannot wait to see you on the next chapter of this adventure. Bye!